The once bustling restaurant, where the wait would be more than 20 minutes, is now quiet. The Grille is one of the many establishments on the Queensway directly impacted by the pandemic. Jim Parthamos is the owner of the Grille and says because of the COVID-19 related shutdowns, his restaurant has lost over 70% of business and as a result, 80% of staff.
Not as busy as it used to be. Not even nowhere near the numbers that we used to make at all. So I would say to you, on an average, we'd serve about Monday to Thursday, we'd serve about 500 to 600 people a day, and then the weekends were just out of control. At that point, we would have lineups from the morning at 9 o'clock until 3 in the afternoon. Sometimes I'd say well over 12 to 1,300 people on a Saturday and Sunday each day.
During the first lockdown in March, Jim says that the restaurant was only making 10% of sales, losing an overall 90% of pre-COVID business. It was until patios and indoor dining was allowed at the end of last year that the restaurant welcomed back 65% of its business. But now, the newest orders by Doug Ford pose another challenge.
Effective immediately, Ontario is declaring a state of emergency. We expect this to remain in place for at least 28 days. Further, I'm issuing a stay-at-home order effective Thursday at 12:01 a.m.
These stay-at-home orders meant that all businesses deemed non-essential were forced to shut down or work in a limited way. For those in the food service industry, this meant that they could only serve their customers through a takeout basis.
The numbers have gone down. We've lost, well, I think we're about 30%. We're working with 30% with our sales retrieved back from pre-pandemic. So it's been a tougher one this time around, actually.
According to Stat Canada, the $93 billion food service industry represents 4% of Canada's GDP. Restaurants Canada data shows the food industry has lost an estimated $4 billion in sales since the beginning of March, resulting in the loss of 800,000 jobs. This means nearly 4 out of 5 staff have been laid off. Because of this, while 46% of restaurants are still open with reduced operations, the majority, 54% of restaurants, are temporarily closed. And if conditions don't improve, Restaurants Canada says food service sales could be down nearly $20 billion.
It's part of our livelihood, it's part of our income, it's helped put me and my brother through school. So we rely on the restaurant a lot to supplement for all of our basic needs.
Mila Parthamos is Jim's daughter. She grew up in the restaurant and knows how important the establishment is to her family and the community.
In a way, it's almost a little bit sad because you could never walk in here on a Saturday or Sunday morning. You would walk in and expect to wait 20, 30 minutes for a spot. Like that was just normal. Like you wait 20, 30 minutes and hope for the best. And now it's kind of eerie to see it so quiet and so empty.
As for her dad, she says keeping the independent business afloat has taken a toll on him.
I find myself working harder now than when I had, let's say, Christmas time and full staff. I'm being a dishwasher. I have no problem with that. I'm being an owner at the same time. So it's challenging. We have applied for the government loans that first came out. There was a $40,000 loan which the government came out with to assist all the businesses from the beginning.
Over the course of 10 months, Jim has had to apply to multiple loans set up by the government to fund his business now and for the future months to come. This included a small business subsidy of $40,000 alongside wage subsidy and rent subsidy. And while he had plans before the current stay-at-home orders were issued, like a permanent awning outside, one that could be used all year round, all of that is now halted.
It's unfortunate that COVID has the impact that it's made on people's thinking not to go inside anymore to eat because it's not safe. I believe that a restaurant like ourselves, who's an independent, would like to make sure that the customer feels safe because it's our name. The last thing you want is anybody getting sick out of the grill.
Without the use of their outdoor patio and takeout orders being their only stream of income, Jim says the money he received in loans will not be enough to carry the restaurant throughout the year.
I don't think it'll be back to where it was with the lineups were happening again to get in again. I think those days are gone for a while, actually.
Last year, over $600 million of federal assistance funds were announced, and yet Restaurants Canada estimates 40% of restaurants won't make it through to March 2021 if things continue the way they are. For Say News, I'm Felicia Adam.